San Francisco, February 1900. The rats come at dusk. Not one, not 10, hundreds. They pour from the sewer grates like dirty water, their bodies slick with God knows what from the tunnels beneath Portsmouth Square. You can hear them before you see them, that wet scratching sound like fingernails on wet leather. The sound gets under your skin, lives there. In the basement of a grocery on DuPont Street, a man is dying. His name doesn't matter anymore. What matters is the swelling. His groin bulges with lymph nodes the size of duck eggs, purple, black, and tight as drumheads. When he shifts on the wooden floor, they move under his skin. Independent, almost alive. The floor is slick, not with water, with the drainage from 17 other bodies crammed into this 12 by 15-foot space. The smell isn't describable in polite terms. It's beyond rot, beyond sewage. It's the smell of human tissue turning to soup while still inside the body. Your nose would try to close itself. Your throat would clench. Your lizard brain would scream one word, run. But you can't run, because the white men with badges have boarded up the exits. Let's back up 6 days. Joseph Kinyoun squints through his microscope. He's the federal health officer for San Francisco, and right now he's looking at a slide smeared with tissue from a dead Chinese laborer. The sample came from a lymph node. Correction, what used to be a lymph node before it liquefied into something resembling strawberry jam. Under the lens, the bacteria swarm, rod-shaped, bipolar staining. They look like tiny safety pins clustered in chains. Kinyoun has seen this pattern exactly once before. In a textbook chapter he memorized at Georgetown. Chapter 12, Yersinia pestis, the Black Death, the thing that killed half of Europe in 1347. Except that was medieval. This is modern San Francisco. This is America. This is supposed to be impossible. He lifts his eye from the scope, rubs it, looks again. The bacteria don't disappear. They multiply. His hand shakes when he reaches for the telegraph pad. Morphology check. Each bacterium is 1.5 micrometers long. It reproduces every 20 minutes in optimal conditions. The human body, at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit with plenty of moisture and nutrients, is optimal. Do the math. 1 bacterium becomes 2. 2 becomes 4. 4 becomes 16. By hour 6 you have over 2,000. By hour 12 you have 4 million. By the time the fever hits, you're carrying more plague bacteria than human cells. It's just numbers. Just biology. Just death at scale. The quarantine order goes up on March 6th, but it's not for the whole city. Just Chinatown. 12 square blocks. 15,000 people. The police string rope across every street entrance and exit. Then they bring in lumber and nail boards across the ground floor windows. From the inside, you can see splinters of daylight through the cracks. Then those cracks go dark as they add a second layer, then a third. Mayor James Phelan holds a press conference on the steps of City Hall. His suit is pressed. His mustache is waxed. He smiles when he says the word containment. This is a Chinese disease, he tells the reporters. A disease of filth and overcrowding and moral degeneracy. We will not allow it to infect the civilized portions of our city. The reporters write this down. Nobody asks why the plague, if it's so uniquely Chinese, also killed the Italian dock worker last week, or the Irish washerwoman, or the German baker's assistant. Nobody asks because nobody cares. The answer is already written in the way Phelan's eyes slide past the Chinese interpreter standing 3 feet away. Inside the quarantine zone, reality operates on different physics. You wake up in the morning. Maybe you didn't sleep. Hard to sleep when you can hear the woman upstairs coughing, wet, thick coughs that sound like drowning. You boil water on a camp stove someone smuggled in before the boards went up. The water tastes like rust because the pipes haven't been maintained in 30 years. The landlord is white, lives in Pacific Heights, hasn't set foot in this building since 1887. You drink it anyway. Dehydration will kill you faster than bad water. You check your body, armpits, groin, neck. Anywhere lymph nodes cluster, you're looking for swelling, for heat, for the first sign that the buboes are forming. That's what they're called in the medical texts. Buboes, from the Greek word for groin. Cute. If you find one, you have maybe 3 days. Maybe. The mortality rate without treatment is 60%. With treatment, with the anti-serum they're testing in Hong Kong, it drops to 15%. But the anti-serum is in Hong Kong. You are in a boarded-up building in San Francisco. The white doctors won't come inside the quarantine line. They stand outside with clipboards and count bodies. So you do what humans have done for millennia when faced with plague. You hide it, freeze frame. Watch the mother with the sick child. She's 32 but looks 50. Her hands are cracked from laundry work. She takes in washing from the hotels on Nob Hill, scrubbed sheets by hand in a tin basin. Right now, those hands are pressing a cold rag to her daughter's forehead. The girl is 7. Her name is May. 3 days ago, she complained about a pain in her armpit. Yesterday, the swelling started. Today, it's the size of a plum. Dark purple, hot to the touch. When the mother presses gently, just to check, just to hope she's wrong, May screams. Not a child's cry. Something primal. The kind of sound that vibrated through plague houses in Florence, in Constantinople, in every city where this disease has fed. The mother knows what happens if the white doctors find out. They'll take May, not to a hospital, to the pest house on Angel Island. It's not a hospital. It's a warehouse with cots where they stack the infected until they either recover or decompose. The survival rate there is worse than staying home. So she keeps the secret. She presses the rag to May's forehead. The girl's skin is so hot the rag dries in seconds. The mother dips it again in the basin. The water is brown. She dips it anyway. The fever climbs. Joseph Kinyun is losing his mind. Not figuratively, clinically. He hasn't slept more than 3 hours a night in 2 weeks. His office in the Marine Hospital looks like a hoarder's nest. Petri dishes stacked on every surface. Some growing cultures, some growing mold. Nobody's sure which is which anymore. He's injecting guinea pigs with tissue samples to confirm the diagnosis. The guinea pigs keep dying. Quickly, he writes reports, sends telegrams to Washington, begs for funding for anti-serum for anyone to take this seriously. The Surgeon General writes back, "Are you certain? Plague is extinct in the United States. Perhaps you are mistaken." Kinyun stares at that telegram for a full minute. Then he walks to the window of his office. It overlooks the bay. Across the water, Angel Island shimmers in the haze. The pest house is there. 43 patients as of this morning. 26 dead as of yesterday. Do the math. He's not mistaken. But Washington is 3,000 miles away. San Francisco's business leaders are 30 feet away in the mayor's office, and they're screaming about property values, about tourism, about the upcoming World's Fair. You can't have a plague during a World's Fair. Bad optics. So the official line becomes, there is no plague. The Chinese are lying. Their bodies are lying. Science is lying. Kinyun goes back to his guinea pigs. You want to know what plague does? Here's the blow-by-blow. The bacterium enters through a flea bite. Tiny, invisible. You don't even feel it. The flea was feeding on a rat. The rat died yesterday, stiff in an alley behind a butcher shop. The flea needed a new host. You were convenient. The bacteria migrate to your lymph nodes. That's their staging ground. Your immune system notices, sends white blood cells. The battle starts. The lymph node swells with dead cells, yours and theirs. That's the bubo. The pressure builds. The node can't contain it. The skin stretches, turns purple from internal bleeding. If it bursts, and it often does. The pus that comes out is black, sticky, fragrant. From the lymph nodes, the bacteria enter your bloodstream. Septicemic plague. Your blood becomes a bacterial highway. They colonize your organs, liver, spleen, lungs. When they hit the lungs, the game changes. You start coughing. Each cough aerosolizes millions of bacteria. Now you don't need a flea. Now you're the vector. Anyone within 6 feet is at risk. Pneumonic plague. Mortality rate, 95% without treatment. Death timeline, 2 to 4 days. You drown in your own fluids. Your lungs fill with bloody foam. You cough, you gasp, you cough more. The foam comes up pink, then red, then dark. Your lips turn blue. Cyanosis, not enough oxygen. Your brain starts shutting down non-essential functions. Vision, coordination, personality. What's left at the end isn't you anymore. It's a dying machine making death sounds. But here's the cynical part. The city knows. The business owners, the politicians, the newspaper editors, they know. They just don't care. Or rather, they care more about the idea of San Francisco than the reality of 15,000 people trapped in a plague zone. The Chronicle runs headlines. Plague hoax exposed. They interview experts, doctors who've never examined a patient, who've never looked through Kim Yoon's microscope. These experts explain that the Chinese are inherently diseased. It's in their blood, their culture, their cooking. Nothing to worry about. Just keep them contained. The Southern Pacific Railroad sends lobbyists to Sacramento. If California admits it has plague, the state will be quarantined. No trains in or out. No cargo. No money. The railroad will lose millions. So the railroad suggests, politely through campaign contributions, that maybe plague isn't real. Maybe Kim Yoon is wrong. Maybe he's incompetent. Maybe he should be fired. In June, Kim Yoon is reassigned, sent to Detroit. The official reason is administrative restructuring. The real reason is written in the check Southern Pacific cut to the mayor's re-election fund. The plague doesn't care about politics. It keeps spreading. Back to May. It's been 5 days. The bubo in her armpit has burst. The mother tried to clean it with boiled water and strips torn from an old sheet. The pus was black, smelled like hot copper. The mother gagged, but kept working, kept cleaning, kept hoping. The fever hasn't broken. May's breathing is shallow, fast. Her lips are cracked and bleeding. She's not talking anymore. Sometimes her eyes open, but they don't focus. They look past her mother, past the ceiling, at something nobody else can see. The mother knows, has known for 2 days. But as long as May is breathing, there's hope. As long as there's breath, there's fight. At 3:17 a.m. on March 12th, May's breathing stops. The mother waits, counts to 10, counts to 20, presses her ear to May's chest, hears nothing, feels nothing. She doesn't cry, can't. The body has limits on how much grief it can produce before it shuts down. She's past that limit. So she just sits, holds May's hand. It's still warm, for now. The official death toll for the 1900 San Francisco plague outbreak is 121. That's the number in the medical journals, in the CDC archives, in the history books. It's a lie. The real number is unknowable. The city refused to count Chinese deaths unless they were impossible to hide, meaning they died in the street, or the smell got so bad neighbors reported it, or they tried to escape the quarantine and got shot. Yes, shot. The guards had orders. Shoot to kill. Prevent escape. Prevent spread. How many died in basements, in hidden rooms? In buildings that were later burned to disinfect them? We'll never know. The ashes don't keep records. What we do know, The Chinese community hospital reported treating over 800 suspected plague cases between March and June. The white hospitals reported 0. Make sense of that. By summer, the outbreak burns itself out. Not because of medicine, not because of quarantine, because plague is seasonal. The rat fleas are less active in heat above 85 degrees. It's ecology, not heroism. The boards come off the buildings. The ropes come down. The quarantine ends. No fanfare, no apology. One day the police are there. The next day they're not. The businesses reopen. The laundries, the groceries, the boarding houses. People sweep out the rat droppings, burn the contaminated bedding, repaint the walls, try to forget. Chinatown has a saying from that summer. The rats taught us who we are to them. Not people, not citizens, not humans with rights or value or futures. Inconveniences, problems, vectors. Qin Yun never recovers professionally. He spends the rest of his career in bureaucratic obscurity, gets transferred to smaller and smaller posts. Never gets to say "I told you so" when the plague returns to San Francisco in 1907, when 160 more people die, when the city finally, grudgingly, admits he was right. He dies in 1919, the Spanish flu. Irony loves a good callback. Here's what doesn't make it into the textbooks. The sound a bubo makes when it bursts, like a plum crushed underfoot. Wet, sudden. The smell of 16 bodies decomposing in a basement in July. Sweet, rotten, adhesive. It sticks to your clothes, your hair, your memory. The feeling of knowing your government would rather let you die than admit a mistake. That calculations were made, that your life was given a dollar value, that the value was 0. San Francisco today is beautiful. Tech startups, organic coffee, Victorian houses painted in pastels. Tourists ride cable cars through Chinatown, take photos of the Dragon Gate, buy fortune cookies and chopsticks stamped "Made in China." Nobody mentions 1900. There's no monument, no plaque, just a footnote in a medical journal that says, "The outbreak was contained with minimal loss of life." Minimal. Tell that to May's mother. The rats are still there, by the way. In the tunnels, in the sewers, breeding, waiting, carrying fleas that carry bacteria that carry history. Plague never went extinct. It went quiet. Ask any epidemiologist. It's endemic in the California ground squirrel population. Every few years, someone camping in the Sierras gets infected. Usually survives with antibiotics. Usually. But bacteria evolve. Antibiotics fail. And humans forget. We always forget. That's the thing about plague. It doesn't need to be smarter than us. It just needs to be more patient,